Hello there. Quite an important video. Um, we're talking about why is burnout so very common in frontline work, particularly the physicians. We have in a previous video discussed that the individuals who come into the frontline work is um, a selection of kind-hearted guys and girls. They have the thought process of making some choices for the better, choices for the humanity, choices for the society. They want to eventually have balance in their life, or at least if they were gently cajoled or influenced, or unfortunately in a minority of population pushed into frontline work, the intention is, look, put in that predictable amount of hard work, you'd get a predictable amount of outcome. It's recession proof, usually, healthcare work or frontline work. And of course, there is a lot of hard work, there's no doubt about it. But then the outcome is quite predictable. And usually, the outcome that people are looking at, the final outcome people are looking at, in choosing these careers or recommending these careers is fulfillment. So that I've put in a lot of hard work, I continue to put in a lot of hard work, I'm happy, I retire, I'm fulfilled, I'm blissed. Okay? As compared to, I put in a lot of hard work, I'm not getting good outcome. I'm being asked to put even more hard work, and I don't know what is happening. There's a lot of chaos, I don't have control, people are not respecting me, there's no meaning left in life at all. At home front, things are not very good. In the childcare situation, things are not very good. So it's kind of a chaotic type of situation causing burnout over a chronic period of time. Now, it is quite important that there are people who are well-meaning and they know exactly why they're doing it and they have their defined purpose and value. And if you don't, now is the time. It's never too late. It's never too late. But time just does not wait for anybody. Okay? Majority of us have put in a lot of hard work. And if you have put in a lot of hard work, it is important to understand why you're doing what you're doing. If you understand the life purpose, it is extremely easy to get what you want out of life. We talked about this in a previous video, but just to recap again, the reason majority of the people did come into the frontline work, given the American experience, and to a large extent that continues, is for economic reasons. Socially, the background of these individuals who choose to come into frontline work, including medicine, is pretty good. Their parents or their family or their friends gently cajole or sometimes, as we said, push people into medicine with that outcome in mind to get, so that these people get a good life experience. Now, the example is based upon how things went in the States. In the 1950s, there was mass input of well-meaning individuals into frontline work. It was for economic reasons, to get out of poverty. They continued to put in a lot of hard work, but they felt at the end, because of modernization of medicine, cultural revolution, their importance was reducing. We are all human beings. We put in hard work. We like gratitude. We like rewards. There's nothing wrong in it. If somebody puts in a lot of hard work, and if he or she does not get what he wants out of it, and I'm not necessarily meaning monetarily, okay? If you put in a lot of hard work and somebody comes up and doesn't recognize it, okay, or even worse so, disrespects that particular effort, okay, that's when the control is lost and chaos comes in, and undermining the authority process basically starts to appear, and people feel fairly unhappy, and that's kind of beginning of the burnout if this was continuing on a chronic setting as such. Too much of work is not a huge problem, but too much of work and lack of control, demand resource imbalance. That's the most important thing, causing an interrupted and chaotic work. And again, fuel to the fire is added if on the home front situation is chaotic as well, and that's just a double whammy. Okay, you know, people are disturbed at work, they go home and they have a serene, cool, relaxed, caring environment where they have I'm not necessarily saying that this is exactly how it needs to be, but a example could be you open the door and this fantastic dog of yours comes with his tail wagging. He invites you with all his might and energy, and given 2 minutes you pet him, and your children are there, and or your partner or your wife is there with a inviting smile. And I'm not being male chauvinistic here at all. It would work on the other side as well. A person who's very tired at work, when he comes home, not house needs to be home, when they come to their homes and they get an environment where the chaos or the tiredness at work, whichever be the case, is relaxed, that's a stress relaxation mechanism. That's a small element of it, but again, that is quite important. As compared to, you have chaos at work, you come home, you open the door, and there's chaos at home as well. Now, I'm not going to allude on what chaos at home could be. Again, we've got a very big coverage in our main course about what can be done and how things could be improved, but that just causes chaotic work, chaotic home environment just causes complete kind of disruption or interruption of your life, and can be a bit of a problem. Now, a main element of or a very important element of frontline work is secrecy and confidentiality. And sometimes people have bottled up emotions. They can't speak out with a fear of repercussion. And that is one of the reasons why burnt out frontline workers don't like to talk to their managers or talk to somebody, because, hey, what's going to happen if the frontline worker was considered as burnt out? There could be repercussion of reprimand or loss of job. And I think that's a very wrong way of thinking about it, because if you don't seek help, and that's one of the reasons why people don't seek help, but if you don't seek help, your outcome is going to be problematic. And again, the perfectionist world that these guys basically think starts to fade away. The chaos, that's chaos it's supposed to be, and the demand resource imbalance is extremely important. So why has modernization of medicine caused issues? Electronic medical records, too much demand both from the top and the bottom, too many bureaucratic kind of tasks, and sometimes financial reasons as well. One of the things that we medics, when we come into the start of our professional career, happens is that we take on large amount of financial undertakings. Sometimes these undertakings are pretty okay, but there are some who take massive amount of undertakings, and these are necessarily not sustainable. So financial reasons are quite important. Quite a few times is healthcare workers, by the time, particularly happens in physicians, is by the time they finish their training, they are in deep debt. They have sacrificed quite a lot. While their colleagues were enjoying life, going night clubbing or going pub hopping or doing whatever enjoyment they had to do, these guys were putting their might and energy into the books and burning the midnight oil to get the requirement fulfilled. They put in their hard work, they get their exams, they train again, they become a specialist, and then they get qualified and they get a tag of qualification. Now the world is open in front of them. They can see a decent pay packet and they go out there and make the biggest of those commitments. I'm not generalizing it, this is not seen in every case, but there are these type of cases available wherein the undertaking that these guys have is a fantastically big mortgage, because the unqualified recommendation is, and certainly I know of several people who just go out and virtually stretch their legs so far that that is the maximum that they can get as far as mortgage is concerned. Naturally, your repayments and your EMIs are massively large. They'll buy the biggest car. Their lifestyle, because of what they've sacrificed until they train, they want to get that back once they start to come out into the mainstream life. Now, unfortunately, what has not happened is they've not got specific training. And let's go into the second slide and let's go from the very beginning. And that's quite a healthy slide of I've tried to depict evolution. So look at this young child. Yeah, he's starting to think. Now, this happens if your cultural, your social background is quite good. Okay, that you are spending time to think about what you want to do. Of course, there are times when this young child doesn't want to think about it and the parents or their family push them into medicine, and that is inappropriate. So if you feel you don't belong to, you need to kind of think about your value chart, your purpose, and in my 6-week course, as well as during the coaching program, I will take you through the most greatest detail of identifying the parameters of why people were feeling unhappy. And again, you don't necessarily continue to feel that particular way. There are some who just are diehard, no, I don't want to be in medicine. And if that was not doing you any world of good, or if particularly if your patients were not being helped, that's not great, is it? So that can be thought about, and help is available on that particular side. But this young guy, through his own thought process, says, what do I do? Or he or she sees a fantastic example of either their mother or father who were doctors, or they look upon a friend who was a doctor, a family friend, or they have a life experience that either they were in the hospital and they saw fantastic healthcare workers who were tirelessly working on their behalf, or the family members were in the hospital and they saw some positive thing in healthcare, and they say, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. And that's the most healthy way of entering medicine. Not necessarily that these are the only people who are happy. I did not have any medical background in my family, but in my family, it used to happen that, yes, it was my mum who basically said, consider that. She didn't push me into it. Consider that. And I thought, yeah, that sounds good. And I just, yeah, I'm going to be a doctor, and I'm going to be a doctor. And of course, evolution, and I did decide, yes, I wanted to take up orthopedics and I wanted to be a sports surgeon, because there was a sports surgeon that I absolutely adored, because the quality of life he had with his very specific hours at work, time for leisure, time for family, very important. I'm an absolutely diehard family man.